Donald Trump just suggested a 50-year mortgage. Will this help the affordability housing crisis or make the cost of home ownership even higher? My name is Travis Anderson. I'm a realtor here in Minnesota and Western Wisconsin. Each week we cover U.S. housing news and what really matters, as well as provide tips for our buyers and sellers. Let's talk about why Donald Trump's proposing it. The number of closings across the United States is down to about 4 million, maybe a little over 4 million home sales. In the last 12 months, Donald Trump is proposing this to increase the number of transactions across the United States. And with more housing sales, it does benefit the economy. It benefits our GDP. There's more construction, more jobs, etc. How will a 50-year mortgage do that? Well, by lowering the overall payment on a home. Now, if you were to buy the median home price here in the United States at $417,000, you'd save about $270 a month on your mortgage. And so that $270 per month can be put towards other things in the economy as well. So let's talk about the consequences and what we're not hearing from our politicians. Number one, higher interest rates. A 50-year mortgage then would have a higher interest rate than a 30-year mortgage. In the first 5 years in that median priced home we just talked about, the consumer will pay about $7,500 more in interest. In 10 years, it's $22,000. And over the life of the loan, it's over $400,000 more in interest that the consumer will pay. And that's essentially what it means for our homeowners. What does it mean for the U.S. housing market as a whole, and will it add to our U.S. housing crisis? The first and most obvious thing is if we were to lower the payment on a mortgage today, it will increase the demand. Now, we're already above the 4% trend line appreciation historically. I talked about this in last week's video. I'll post that link at the top of my description. And if we increase demand, that's going to increase the price of housing. We're going to increase it well above that 4% trend line. Now, in that last video that I mentioned, I talked about something has to give, whether that be housing prices, the interest rate, or our incomes have to go up. Now, in this scenario, Trump isn't addressing any of those three things. Homes are going to remain unaffordable. And although I think Donald Trump is using this so that lower income earners can afford the median income home, if and when the home prices go up, you're just going to price them back out and they might be gone forever. Now, again, when you look at this over the course of 5 years or so, it looks like it might make sense. But when you look at it more long term, it just doesn't make sense to do a 50-year loan. So after looking at the reasons that Trump would propose it, after looking at how it's going to benefit our consumers and affect them, and then also looking at what those consequences would be, my opinion is pretty simple. I think it's a bad idea. I think in the short term that it might work. If I'm a consumer buying a home at a huge discount, maybe I'm buying a home at a 30% discount. What does it matter if I have a 50-year loan? That would be totally fine. For long-term purposes, it just would not make sense. I do believe that real estate is one of the greatest forms of wealth for our middle income and lower income earners. And my advice, I would love to see all of my clients own their real estate outright, and a 50-year loan is just not going to do that. And I'm genuinely concerned about the concept of mass renters across the United States. When you have large corporations and industrial home buyers that are going to continue to buy up the homes, even if they're inflated, it's going to force a lot of our middle income earners and lower income earners to not be homeowners and to be renters for life. It's not building the equity and the wealth that you might need in your retirement and older years. Look, thanks for watching. If you like this breakdown, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you've got questions, do me a favor, give me a call, shoot me a text, or hit me up in the comments section. My name is Travis Anderson, and as always, all my best to you and yours.